Hello, students. How are you? Today we'll talk about physical quantities through a beautiful story. Once upon a time, in the bustling town of Islamabad, two friends named Bisma and Wasif embarked on a quest to understand the fascinating world of physical quantities. Bisma was a logical and analytical thinker, while Wasif had a knack for practical applications. Together, they made a perfect duo for unraveling scientific mysteries. One sunny afternoon, Bisma and Wasif found themselves sitting under the shade of a grand oak tree in their favorite park. Eager to explore the concept of physical quantities, they decided to engage in a friendly conversation about it. Bisma, with a notebook in hand, began explaining.
Physical quantities are measurable by an instrument or can be derived. Its magnitude will be a numerical value and unit.
Wasif interrupted. So what kind of physical quantities are there? Bisma smiled and replied, There are many types, but let's start with some common ones. Length, for instance, is a physical quantity that measures the extent or size of something. We usually use units like meters or centimeters to measure it. Wasif nodded. Got it. Length is like how tall a tree is or the distance from one point to another. What about time? Bisma's eyes lit up as she continued. Exactly. Time is another fundamental physical quantity. It measures the duration or sequence of events. We use units like seconds, minutes, and hours to measure it. It helps us understand when things happen and how long they last. Wasif pondered for a moment and then asked, What about speed? It sounds interesting. Bisma smiled and explained, Speed is a physical quantity that combines both distance and time. It tells us how quickly an object moves over a given distance. We often measure it in units like meters per second or kilometers per hour. Wasif thought for a moment and then exclaimed, Ah, I see. So if someone runs really fast, their speed would be high because they cover more distance in less time, right? Bisma nodded in agreement, impressed by Wasif's grasp of the concept. Absolutely. You're catching on quickly. Speed is all about the relationship between distance and time. As their conversation continued, Bisma and Wasif explored various other physical quantities such as mass, temperature, and force. They discussed how these quantities play a crucial role in understanding the world, from the motion of objects to the behavior of substances. As the sun began to set, Bisma and Wasif realized how much they had learned.
Hope so you have found this story interesting and learning. Show your expressions in comments and hit the like button.